spacious skies, for amber waves of gray, for purple mountain majesty, above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet, whose stern impassioned stress a thoroughfare for freedom be across the wilderness. America, America, God lend thine every flaw, confirm thy soul with self-control, thy liberty in law.
Every day, we have the gift to live on, to breathe on, to study, work, and play with each other, and to love each other on, and to make a home, whether it's for a day, a week, 4 years on, and to ground ourselves on the land at Colorado College, which is on the unceded land of the Ute people, the land that the Apache, Comanche, and Kiowa peoples also inhabited. Together, we acknowledge their elders, past and present, and future generations. We acknowledge that Colorado College was founded upon and built on exclusions and erasures of many indigenous peoples, included the land upon which CC is on and where we sit today. As an institution, each day, we strive to collectively take steps to dismantle the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism, and this land acknowledgement is one small step. As we continue to ground ourselves into this time and into this place, may we hear these words. We have come full circle, connecting a beginning and an ending, embracing past and future, and for a moment, a mindful moment, we hold this time and space in its perfection as it opens to new, untamed, and unimaginable possibilities. And we sigh. We made it, and relief and joy moves through us as we honor years of cultivating mind and heart, confidence and resilience, and unfolding growth of becoming who we are as we celebrate with all the gift of this time, which graduates, you have done with courage and resilience and integrity. And so now we pause and reflect in this moment, calling in loved ones who couldn't be here with us in spirit or body, and all that we hold as sacred, the teachings, the wisdom figures that have nurtured us and guided us to this time and to this place, and we acknowledge all this moment holds and bless it. May it be so. Amen. And please join me in welcoming President L. Song Richardson.
Welcome, families and friends. Today, we come together to celebrate the hard work and the achievements of our remarkable graduates. Let's give them an enormous congratulatory hand. Woo! I have to admit, I love graduation, even as it also makes me very sad as we get to celebrate as well as mourn, and then celebrate again our remarkable graduates. And I hope that you know how proud we are of all of you, and that you will always, always have a home here at Colorado College. Now, before we recognize you, graduates, class of 2022, and all of your incredible achievements and accomplishments, first, we have to recognize that commencement is also an enormous milestone for your families and your friends. Without their support, encouragement, and sacrifice, you wouldn't be here today. So graduates, class of 2022, can we give a very warm congratulations and welcome and thank you to your friends and to your family. We also have to acknowledge that we wouldn't be here today celebrating your graduation without our talented staff, administrators, and faculty. These extraordinary people are committed to providing our students, and have provided you, class of 2022, with the best possible educational experience. So let's thank them too with a round of applause. So now, class of 2022, I want you to think back to the first moments when you arrived here at CC. How did you feel then? Were you excited, and did you know that you had this in the bag? You knew that this was going to be easy for you? No? I see some of you shaking your head. Or did you come here feeling like I did when I started college, nervous, a little anxious, wondering, will I fit in? Will I be able to figure this thing out, this block plan? Will I be successful with it? Will I find out who I am, what my authentic self is, and what it is that I want to do? Will I be able to balance all of it, and will I fail and make mistakes and learn from those and come out stronger? Well, you are all sitting here before me and in front of your friends and family today, and just think about how far you have come since then. And know that here at Colorado College, what our liberal arts education does is it prepares you to live lives of meaning, and it prepares you not for your first job, whatever that might be, but for your last one. And think about the things that you've accomplished while you've been here. You've received numerous awards, including from academic departments. You participated, choreographed, and led dance workshop, theater workshop, and you also played varsity basketball. You presented at conferences and published in academic journals, and you received prestigious scholarships. You contributed countless hours to community engagement. You worked in student government, as residential advisors, as tutors, and in the library. You were involved in SOMOS and helped lead the Black Student Union. You founded the Tiger Audubon Birding Club and a Bible study. You played in CC bands, and you studied in the field both here and abroad. And you completed impactful internships. That's just a few of the things that you did while you were here at CC. And when you leave here, know that you have also left your legacy here at the college. Your efforts around anti-racism, as well as around mental health and wellness, will impact generations of staff, administrators, faculty, and students for generations to come. Because of your efforts, you have created and built a stronger community here at the college. Now, none of your incredible accomplishments should surprise us at all, because you are a member of a community here at CC that accomplishes what others only dream about accomplishing. Because at Colorado College, we are a place that takes bold action and has courageous conversations in order to create a more just world. That's simply who we are. We're the college that created the block plan. We're the first college in the Rocky Mountain West to achieve carbon neutrality, and we are the first college in the nation to have an anti-racism commitment. We are a place that takes bold and courageous actions, and so do you. We also think differently here at Colorado College. So we chose you to join this remarkable community because you think differently too. It's why you made a difference while you were here at Colorado College. It's why we know that you'll make a difference as future leaders and innovators, and it is why we know that the world will be more just because of you. So as you leave us today, I hope that you will continue to live lives that are curious, courageous, and original. I hope that you'll continue to dream big, and I hope that you will be kind to yourselves and to others. We are so very proud of each and every one of you, and as I mentioned at the beginning, we hope that you will come back to see us early and often. Congratulations again, class of 2022. We know that you will make a difference to the world, and we will be here watching you and cheering you on. As I said, we are so proud of you. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Nadia Gassus. She is an associate professor and director of feminist and gender studies, and she will give an address on behalf of the Colorado College faculty. Professor Gassus received her PhD in anthropology from Columbia University in 2011, and she joined our faculty in the fall of 2015. Her teaching interests and research include gender and sexuality, post-colonial and transnational feminism, religion and secularism, progressive politics, modern subjectivity, affect and viscerality, and North Africa, the Middle East, and Islam. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Professor Nadia Gassus.
Okay. Thank you, President Richardson, for your kind introduction. It's going to be difficult to follow your great act and speech. I am humbled to be here amongst all of you on this happy occasion in honor of our winter graduates. I would like to begin by thanking the President's Office for inviting me to be part of this celebration. I would also like to thank my colleagues, Brenda Soto, Marcella Mills, Samantha Wilson, and all their teams for their hard work in planning this event. On behalf of the faculty at Colorado College, I would like to extend a warm welcome to the friends and family of our graduates. Thank you for being here today and for the trust that you have placed in us as an institution over the years. I hope that you will find that we have lived up to at least some of our promises, and that the education that we as a community have collectively provided to your loved one was worth your many sacrifices and investments. No individual can succeed without the communities and ancestors who have made it possible for them, and so every individual graduation here today is also, in that sense, a collective one. And last, but certainly not least, I want to thank and congratulate our winter graduates. Thank you for dedicating the past few years of your life to the important work of learning and pursuing knowledge. To be a student is to embark on a journey of self-transformation that is arduous and requires much vulnerability, patience, and resilience. In the days and weeks ahead, I hope you will take the time to be proud of all that you have accomplished and all the obstacles you had to overcome as you navigated a global pandemic and experienced devastating losses in an increasingly hostile political climate. This graduation day is a living embodiment of the power and beauty of learning and of being in community with each other around the pursuit of knowledge, which can sustain and give us life, as well as reason to rejoice, even amid tragedy. Thank you for the journey and the joy of it all. For me, when I think about graduation, I think about time, and I think about memory. This might very well have to do with the fact that I have recently had the rare privilege of slowing down a bit, and thus to dwell in reflection, sit still with my thoughts, feel the motions of the day rather than racing through them, and both to embrace and grapple with the nostalgia that is a permanent condition of my life as an exilic subject. When I think about time, I think about its simultaneous plenitude and scarcity, its fullness and fragility, its staying power and ephemerality, the ways it can go by so quickly, practically unnoticed, eliciting surprise at its passage only in retrospect, or drag on indefinitely, testing our patience and fortitude along the way. Time can feel lost or out of reach once it has passed, but it can also come alive in our memories and all the traces it has left in us along the way. Memory, in other words, is the link that keeps us connected to times past and orients our actions in the present and in the future. Time and memory give meaning to our lives, but they also bind us to each other, reminding us of our interconnectedness and responsibility to care for each other. Here, I would like to reflect on the significance of your graduation through these themes: time, memory, interconnectedness, and to offer the hope that you will think of this day not as an end or as an individual achievement, but rather as an occasion for reckoning with the radical inevitability and necessity of our interconnectedness. To graduate is many things. To pass from one stage of life to another is one dictionary definition, but it is primarily, as I think about it, a temporal event, one that names, honors, and brings closure to a time that has been demarcated and authorized as devoted primarily to learning. Indeed, to graduate is to finish a journey, to close a chapter, to mark the end of a process. It is a moment of arrival, of crystallization, but it is also to gain the opportunity to remember and reflect on a time in which learning was unapologetically and principally centered and valued in your lives. To graduate is also to be recognized as belonging to a particular class of graduates. President Richardson has already referred to you as the class of 2022, right? So to graduate is also to be recognized as belonging to a particular class of graduates, to mark a shared moment in time, and thus to situate one's learning in time, place, and community. Indeed, none of you here are graduating alone. While your degrees might be individually conferred, you are all graduating together, here and now. This celebration, in other words, is a recognition of the time that you have all spent together and that connect you with one another as belonging to a particular class of graduates. I hope many of you will stay in touch with each other and that you will continue nurturing the ties and connections that you built here. I also hope that you will stay in touch with the staff, faculty, and community members who played a big part in your journey at CC. This day of graduation inaugurates your becoming a class in more than a temporal sense, however. Indeed, while experiencing, obtaining, and holding a college degree from CC can vary greatly depending on who you are, depending on your race, gender, sexuality, class, ethnicity, citizenship, and/or ability. Having a college degree, especially from an elite liberal art institution like ours, is a privilege that is only held by a minority in the US population, let alone in the world. It is also a right that was withheld from many who were not seen as deserving the privilege of an education, and that generations of activists and educators fought with their lives for. In that sense, to graduate is an opportunity for you to reckon with how you are going to use the privileges of your CC education to make the world a better place for all, and to ensure that those who come after you have the same, if not more, opportunities for learning and growth. Indeed, none of you here today would have graduated were it not for the inspiration, care, support, example, struggles, and sacrifices of others who came before you. Whether your loved ones have or have not graduated from college, all of you walk in the footsteps of those who came before you, who enabled and/or inspired you to go to college and to devote this period of your life to your growth and your learning. In the same vein, with your graduation, you now get to inspire others who will come after you and who might never have imagined themselves going to college at a place like CC were it not for the example and model that you now represent for them. You now get to contribute to telling the story of CC, and therefore to making future generations better able to recognize themselves in these stories. The time that this graduation honors, in other words, is simultaneously of the past, the present, and the future. It elicits both a remembering, a reckoning, and a becoming. It is an occasion for you to connect those who came before you and those who will come after you and will be inspired by you. To graduate is therefore to herald within yourselves the beginning of a temporal reorientation, to inaugurate a process of looking back and remembering that will inform and guide your actions moving forward, and that will likely have implications for others who will look to you for guidance and inspiration. Indeed, you are now entering a phase of your life where your time at CC is becoming one of the chapters that you will now remember, reflect upon, and use to make sense of new chapters in your life. You will get to mentor and advise others in your life about what to look for in a college and why learning is a gift and an honor. It is not just a degree, in other words, that you will be leaving with today or when the registrar makes your graduation official. It is a chapter in your book, a reference in your life story, a scene in the play that is your journey, an experience that you embody, an inheritance that lives within your body, mind, soul, and to which you will remain connected through the memories that you carry within you. It's been a long while since I graduated from college, and my life has included many full and meaningful chapters since then. Yet, my undergraduate college days remain a central reference point in my life, ones that I frequently reflect upon when making important life decisions, trying to understand something about the past or the present, and when asked for advice or guidance by the many students with whom I work today. When I look back on my undergraduate education, I think of being inspired, experiencing the fullness and exhilaration of learning and unlearning, making connections, getting involved in student activism, falling in love, and making lifelong friends. I think of meeting inspiring mentors who gave me models of how to live in this complicated world and who continue to be meaningful to me to this day. I think of my breath being literally taken away by brilliant, compassionate, generous, and magnificent mentors, teachers, thinkers, artists, and activists. I think of starting to find my voice, articulate a narrative about who I am and who I seek to be. I think of being fully present and engaged, even as I experience moments of confusion, alienation, and disorientation. I think of a time of exploration, deep reflection, reckoning, dreaming, and becoming. I think of all of this, even though the large public university that I attended as an undergraduate was not particularly memorable or well-suited to my needs. It was, in fact, quite imperfect, alienating at times, overwhelming, and infuriating at others. Yet, none of that mattered at the end of the day, and when I look back at what that time taught me and enabled for me, it was the state of being a student that I cherished, both the humility and utter submission that it required, the deep focus and stimulation that it entailed, and the strength and confidence that it gave me even in moments of vulnerability and uncertainty. I loved that being a student meant having permission to be a seeker of knowledge, an asker of questions, a dweller in complexity and nuance. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I eventually went to graduate school, got a PhD, and became a professor, in large part because I wanted to hold on to the boldness and fullness of that permission, the permission to focus deeply, to be moved and inspired by ideas, to connect with others around the pursuit of knowledge, a pursuit that for me has always been inextricably a pursuit of justice, of reparation, of community, of remembrance, and of healing. Even my first real job after graduating with a BA was at an institution of higher education. I worked there in various roles for 4 years before I started a PhD. This allowed me to stay close to communities of learners and teachers in my work and in my everyday life, even as I attended to spaces other than the classroom and came to realize how important they are to the life of a college, despite too often being undervalued. Now, of course, I realize that not all of you will associate learning in your college years with the sense of fullness, connection, awe, and desire for more that characterized my experience. Not all of you are sitting here today with only positive thoughts and feelings about your time here at CC. I don't think I did either when I graduated. Still, as you move forward and make choices about where and how you want to invest your energies, where you want to build a home and a community, what kind of purpose in life you want to devote yourself to, what types of challenges give meaning to your life and hopefully pay your bills. I hope that you will take the time to remember what it was like for you to be a student and to reflect on what this time has taught you about yourself and about what matters to you the most. I also hope that you will remember your CC education with fondness, if not tenderness, despite all the frustrations, challenges, and disappointments that were surely part of your time here. What I mean by this is that I hope you will remember this time when you were a student and your primary activity was learning and being in community with each other as having played a meaningful role in who you are as a person, what matters to you in life, the values you cherish, the communities you seek to belong to, and the worlds you want to contribute to building, regardless of the frustrations you encountered as a student. Even if you did not love everything about CC, even if you struggled with some or many aspects of it, like I did as an undergraduate at my institution, I still hope that your time here as a student will feel worthwhile when you look back at it, that it taught you important lessons about yourself and about the world. I hope it inspires you to keep learning, to be a student of life, and to keep believing in yourself, having the courage to ask hard questions and to not settle for easy answers. I also hope it motivates you to live an ethical life, to care for this planet and for each other. Indeed, if your time at CC has now almost come to an end, my wish for you is that what you learned here about yourself and about the world will live on in your memories and the connections you made here along the way, and those you will continue making forward as you look back on this time and this place. All of this, of course, requires an ethic of radical love and care towards yourselves and towards each other, for none of us can exist or flourish alone. And this takes me to the quote by the Black feminist lesbian poet and theorist Audre Lorde that you selected as your senior class motto, and I quote, "Caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare." End of quote. This is a line that Audre Lorde wrote in 1988, or to be more precise, she wrote it between 1984 and 1988, and then subsequently published it in her book, A Burst of Light and Other Essays, while she was living with breast cancer and confronting the racist and ableist carelessness of the medical industrial complex and of academia. When she wrote this line, her breast cancer had metastasized to her liver. She refused to undergo another surgery and opted instead to pursue herbal and alternative remedies. She was confronting not only her mortality, but also the dangers of overextending herself as a multiply marginalized person, as a disabled Black lesbian. She was thinking about the relationship between cancer and racism, imperialism, homophobia, sexism, and environmental degradation. And she was learning to make care and well-being a part of her everyday life rather than something separate, optional, or supplemental. As she understood it, care and well-being entailed preserving one's commitment to live a full life, to be in community with others, and to continue fighting for social change. As this quote you selected poignantly indicates, and Lorde so brilliantly understood, caring for ourselves in the face of chronic illness, endemic despair, anguish, distress, violence, precarity, neglect, abandonment, precarity, and environmental degradation is a political necessity rather than a luxury. Only by investing in our right to live full and meaningful lives, to build community and solidarity with each other. By caring for ourselves and each other, will we be able to work towards our collective future and, dare I say, liberation. This requires slowing down, reclaiming your time, and embracing the liberatory potentialities of rest, joy, and community, even as you work to find meaning in your life and making this world a better place. It also requires resisting the commodification of knowledge and of time that insists that learning has value only when it is directed towards your self-gain. That your value as a human being is contingent on your productivity, and that self-care is only justified when it makes you more productive. I am here to tell you that you deserve to dream, to heal, to take care, to live a life of purpose, and to imagine a future that honors, protects, and celebrates our interconnectedness and the relationships between our struggles. So reclaim your time, make connections with each other, invest in your well-being, in the well-being of your communities, and of the planet in which we dwell. Do not forget where you came from. Honor the ancestors and sacrifices that made this day possible for you, and think of all of those whom you will in turn inspire by living a full life. And if you remember anything about this day, remember that this is not the end. You are not alone, and that caring for each other and for this planet is the only way forward. To learn and to teach is an honor. Thank you for the journey, the joy of it all, and congratulations to you all.
Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts please stand? Madam President, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts.
By action of the faculty, the Board of Trustees concurring, and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree Bachelor of Arts and admit you to all rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining to this degree. As a token of your accomplishments, I will present your diploma.
Will the candidates please present themselves to receive the diplomas? Larson Daniels Baker. Sunderland Kyle Baker. Marco Baracchia. Brandon Chan. Andrew Choi. Jordan Ray Darrow. Rakesh De Silva. Eden Eves. Josemary Fernandez. Livia Jinshiro. Ziyi Guo. Charles, oh, no, there's a selfie, yes. Charles Hall. James Hanafi. Elizabeth Carolyn Ho. Megan Marie Homan. Soleil Chantal Kerfoot. Augustine Kim. Al S. Lowe. Alec Liam R. Malone. Connor McMaster. Eliana Neuro. Moises Padilla. Eileen Helene Piggott. Sky Chu. Kira Timko Radcliffe. Parker Remus. Mary Lilia Rudolph. Hannah Pauline Scott. Manuel Alexis Uribe Magano. Kai Ching Wang. Nate N. Warachard. Kendall Francis Weiskopf. Nathaniel Wolfgang. Nora Rox Gwynn. And Ani Settle.
see.
So, in this leaving, hear these words. As you leave this place, may you be intentional in how you cultivate hope as a discipline, the daily radical choice through your mindfulness, through your words, actions, and deeds, embodying the work of what is life-giving and just, and in doing so, the best of your CC education. Radiant beings, graduates, that you are, may you go now in peace. And may the bright light that you carry within you shine very bright this day as it guides you from this place, guiding your path and your journey. Forevermore, may it be so. Amen.